All right, 1 second. Waiting for it to come, for it to stream. Okay, now you can start. It's
Okay.
recording.
Great, recording. So for the record, I hereby call to order the meeting of the Board of Architectural Review of October 15th. And I'd like to ask if there's any nomination from the board for someone to serve as chair today.
Just for the record, the chair was unavailable to participate tonight.
I nominate Athena to act as chair this evening.
I second that motion. Athena McKeish.
Excellent.
All in favor?
Yes.
Fair enough. Madam Chair, you now have the floor.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Athena Makish. I'm your chair tonight. The other volunteers for this committee are Andrew, Cindy, and Yvonne. As you guys heard, our usual chair, Bill, is not here tonight. And because of that, we don't have a full board. So anyone who prefers to wait for a full board can defer to another meeting without prejudice. Just let us know. We encourage and accept all questions and comments from other interested parties like neighbors. You are welcome to speak up. You should use your chat or let Will or Amber know, and they will patch you in, let us know that you have a question. I will try after every discussion to prompt your questions and concerns or support, but sometimes I may forget. So please, if I do that, please pipe in and let us know that you do have those thoughts. What else? One other thing before we get to the more official stuff. If you haven't participated in one of these Zoom meetings with us, our expectation is that you are going to show your screen and your files and walk us through your application. So please have your files ready before it's your turn. That'll save everyone a little bit of time and confusion on where your documents are located on your computer. Please just know where they are, have them ready to go, and then you will be allowed to share your screen and you will walk us through the application. We will not walk you through the application. So I just want to make sure that process is clear and upfront. We will start by approving minutes. We'll go to old business, then we'll go to new business, and that will sort of be how the meeting runs today. It should be I always hate to say it'll be a short meeting because you never know what's going to happen, but it's a short agenda. So hopefully we can move speedily through it tonight. So with that, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from last time?
I think you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I'm making that motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting on the 17th of September.
And
I
I
second.
second. Okay.
Okay, the two of us.
Yeah.
And so it be moved. Those are approved. Will, did you want to, I noticed on the online documents, the concept plan is first. Did you want to do that first or last?
That's really the board's call. It's up to you how you want to handle it.
All right, we'll defer it to last. I'd rather get the voting components done first. So with that, we'll start with 333 Hunter Street. If you could take control and share your screen and walk us through your application, that would be great. Is the applicant for
Yeah, just
333 Hunter
promoted
here?
him.
Okay, great.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay, excellent. All right, thank you guys. So this is our proposed project for this solar array at 333 Hunter Street. This here is just an aerial view of the system. These are sun power panels, black on black, all black. This here is a picture of the subject property. Is this enough size for you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Size is good. All right, so this is a picture of the subject property from across the street. This is a picture from the yard of across the street. This is the subject properties on the left-hand side here. This is a picture down the street facing east. The subject property is on the right-hand side here, and this is a picture facing west. And this is from the roof. This is another one from the roof. There's a neighboring solar installation right there. Southeast picture from the roof. And this is south from the roof. And this here is the proposed array. This is my best effort to put superimposed of how it would look on the house. And this over here, the array that's in the back will not be seen because it's at like a 10-degree pitch, so it's basically flat, and you won't really be able to see it at all from the backside. So I guess I'll take any of the questions that you guys have.
I have a technical question.
Sure.
Looking at the back roof, it looks like the two panels that are running perpendicular to the rest of the panels go right to the eave. And my understanding is there does have to be a border for access for fire.
Yeah, there's an 18-inch fire pathway that runs along the ridge line. So we have adhered to that. And if I go ahead and I will, give me
It
one
doesn't have to
second.
be at all, there doesn't have to be a border even at the eave side?
No,
And there's no overhang on that eave, it's flush with the side of the house?
yes. Let's see here, let me pull up a picture of the actual plan set. Let me go ahead. So you can see here we have adequate fire access pathways to get to the ridge line on multiple roof sections, which is what's required. And we do have the 18-inch fire access pathway on the ridge line and in the valleys.
Okay.
Other questions before I pipe in from other board members?
No.
So Daniel, I think one of the big questions that tends to come up on these applications is when you have a forward street facing array of panels, whether that's necessary or not. Can you help us understand why they're not being placed in the back?
So your best solar access on any solar array is on the south facing side. And when it comes to, this homeowner is paying for these panels. Each one of these panels is producing a certain amount of electricity. And where the panels are placed on this house is where they're going to get the optimal solar access per panel. So these are 335 watt sun power panels. And, array number 1 may be producing more than array number 2. But if we put the panels on this back roof section here or this back roof section here, I might need to put 2 panels to produce what 1 panel will produce on the roof sections that we chose. So what we tried to do, whatever we could to make it look as symmetrical as possible, considering this this roof, but also keep in mind that, you know, the customer is paying for these panels and we're making it at the best roof sections for them so that they're getting the best bang for their buck. And there are plenty instances of panels on the front of houses in Mamaroneck that have been already approved from the ARB. So I don't know that that should be an issue for not making it move forward.
Can you show the rendering again of the front of the home with the panels? So we could just have a quick look. The one that we saw, not aerial, but the,
Oh, you
wasn't
mean
there
like
another
this?
rendering? Yeah.
Yep.
How does everyone feel about that? I know you were talking about symmetry and everything, but it does look a little off-putting the way it is structured to me.
I would agree. I would say on my tenure on the board, I'm not sure when the panels that you were referring to, Daniel, were erected, but in my tenure, we have had the applicant really justify to us what the loss is by putting it in the back. And so these for me are pretty blatantly in the front and definitely visible. So for me to get behind this, I would have to see what the actual sort of mathematical loss to seeing it in the back would be. I of course don't want the homeowner to experience a significant cost increase, but I also don't want to see, you know, our whole mandate is to make sure that things are, you know, looking in line with the neighborhood. So for me, I would have to see that calculation. That was one. And then two, I wanted to understand the landscaping, any landscaping changes that were involved in this.
No
Okay.
landscaping changes. We're not cutting down any trees or not.
Great. That's great to hear.
No changing of that. But there is, you know, there is a significant difference on, you know, one roof section versus the next.
Right, so clearly the back, the adjoining roofs of the back of that house would not be appropriate for
Absolutely not.
So, sun. That section and the other section there.
So like I said, this roof section here, you see this one panel right here? If I put it on, I would have to put 2 panels on this roof section here to produce what 1 panel would produce on the front. And these are very expensive, you know, this is an expensive solar system. This is the, you know, sub-zero of solar panels, sun power, and the Wolf. So these are not cheap. So to have to actually double the size of the array because you guys don't want to have a couple panels in the front of the house, it's not feasible.
I think, Daniel, what the issue to me a little bit is that the stepping, instead of being more of a regular shape, that's what it kind of, you know, think that it's a little bit not very pleasant just to look at it, and particularly because they're going to be dark, right? I mean, the roof is
it's a black panel.
Yeah, it's black. Okay. I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't know if there's any way to fit more. I believe not, because you have to leave that the 18 inches on the ridge, right?
Yes,
the
and
valet, or the
we
valet.
have to allow for fire access pathways. So, you know, if
right.
we were to move these 3 panels here and maybe
Mhm.
move 1 panel here and add 4 panels here, I would not
Yeah.
be able to meet my fire access pathway over here. So that's not an option. I mean, it would look
Mhm.
nice, but
Mhm.
also another thing to consider is
Right.
that if I did, let's say, move these 3 panels here and maybe took one off there and like, or one off there, figured out a way how to put something there. This house has no real attic space for me to put any conduit inside the attic. So there's going to be a small piece of conduit that runs up and over here, and then it'll run on the back side of the house over there, so that we can get it to right over here. So if I had now a separate array here, which was 4 panels, if I ran a conduit from there to there, that would look that would definitely look not aesthetically pleasing. So we took a lot of time, energy, and effort into thinking about this design as best as possible with this house. I mean, we have to deal with what houses we have, and I know you guys are all on the board are, you know, advocates of going green. So and also this is meeting the customer's consumption needs. You know, if you guys were to go ahead and say, oh, well, now they have to take off panels, you know, that's going to be detrimental to them. They're doing their part to help the environment out and, you know, basically go net zero on this house. And this is the best configuration that we can come up with that seems to make the most sense financially and from a production standpoint.
From an aesthetic point of view, I think it's not very pleasant. That's my point only. I mean, I understand, and you know, I think, yeah, it's terrific to get solar panels. So that's my only, you know, comment about that.
That was my exact comment, those 3 panels that seem to stair step, right, have a funny aesthetic.
Yeah.
When you're
Another-
looking at the house front on.
Well, another thing is, if you look at the house right on, there's a huge tree in front of the house. So from the street, you'll barely even see the solar panels. This tree is not getting cut down. So, you know, from there, you're not really, if you looked at the house from the street view, you have this tree that's basically, and and the solar panels will go with the way that the shape of the house is on that side. So anybody driving down the street will really not be able to get, unless they literally stopped and said, looked right in front of it and said, this is like, oh my God, what's going on here? You know, like they really, it's just, oh wow, that's a solar array.
Can I ask you a question about that aerial view?
Sure, absolutely.
Which is that I'm just looking at the shadow. The shadow, my understanding from the plan view was that south was basically facing towards the lower corner, like the house right now
Yes.
is sitting at
That's
sitting
correct.
at an angle on the page, like south is directly towards the bottom of the page, correct? Oh,
That is correct. So there's
right.
north is
So-
up and
Yeah.
south is down.
so that picture was taken like right at sunset or something? I mean, I'm just curious how the shadow is going exactly perpendicular to.
No, this picture is not taken at this is just an aerial shot from, you know, we use LiDAR and Google. There's an imagery system that's a little bit better than Google. So
Right.
this was a shot from then. This probably was taken in the morning because, you know, this is the east and this is the west. So it was probably taken in the morning, and that's why you see the shadow of this is a chimney, and that's the
Yeah,
shadow
no, I
of the
understand.
chimney there. Yeah.
Now, I was
Yeah.
just curious whether really that the But you had the right north-south, correct? Just because looking the way the shadow is, it seemed, it's rare that you have in this hemisphere. I guess that's possible.
So yeah, the way that the sun travels in the sky, just so you guys are aware, during the winter months, the sun it'll rise here on this side where my mouse is. It'll only go 26 degrees in the sky here, and then it'll set here. So what happens is during the summer months, it'll rise here, it'll go up high in the sky, up and over, and then set here at like 9 o'clock. So that's why it's so imperative to make sure that the panels are on this side. And even these panels on the back, the reason why that we can justify having them here is because the pitch of the roof is almost flat. So even during the winter months when the sun is in the sky only at 26 degrees, it's still getting a little bit more than it would on this roof section here or this roof section by quite a bit.
Mhm.
So these panels here will produce probably 300 kilowatt hours on an annual basis. If we put them on this roof section or this roof section, it would go down to like 200 kilowatts for that same panel, which is just really does not make sense. And these panels are producing even more than 330 kilowatts. And this one is like 400 kilowatts. This is like the best roof section.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from neighbors or participants who wanted to voice their thoughts on this? No one,
I have
Amber?
one question. Was the owner planning any re-roofing?
No, I mean, the roof is brand new. So
Okay.
it's like recently redone.
Too bad they didn't pick a darker tile.
Shade.
Yeah, darker shade. It would
Uh-huh.
have worked a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But, all right, I'm a
right.
supporter of solar panels, so.
Madam
Yeah,
Chair,
me
just for the
too.
record, I don't see, no one's expressed interest in speaking.
Okay, thanks for that.
Right.
All right, I'll ask for a motion on this one.
I'll motion to pass it.
I second.
Barbara, if you could let the record reflect, I'm going to abstain from, I'm not even sure as a board member how this works, but I'm going to abstain from this one because I've got to, in consistency with how we've reviewed prior applications, we've usually required engineering in addition to what an engineering letter in addition to what the participant or the presenter has suggested. We have usually required an engineering sort of backup for that. In this case, I think, the board members decided they didn't need it, but I feel like in my position, given the past couple of years, that I just wanted to be stated that I think it was needed, even though others didn't.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, thank you.
Really quick, Madam Chair, was there a second on the motion?
Yes.
Yvonne, or
I
Cindy.
mean,
All right. We good to move on, Will?
Yes, Madam Chair.
All right. So the next one up is 1541 Raleigh Road. Hey, Frank and Josh, are you guys the presenters for 1541?
I'm here.
Frank is
Just
the
for the
building
record,
inspector.
Frank is the Yeah, Frank is the building inspector.
Ah, sorry. Josh, then we will hand it over to you. If you want to screen share and walk us through your application, that would be great.
Okay. Sorry, I'm actually very new to Zoom. How exactly do I go to the screen share part?
So there should be a button at the bottom of the screen that says share screen.
There it is. Okay, thank you. Alrighty, so I am presenting the solar roof mount for 1541 Raleigh Road. We are presenting a roof mounted solar array that should produce 4.83 kilowatts. There's two separate arrays that are going to go on the back side of the house, as you can see right there in the picture. One array is going to be 8 panels that should produce 345 watts each. The second array is 6 panels that should produce another 345 watts each. So in total, that's 14 panels. And then, so going from there, sorry. On the second page is where we have the layout of how it would look with the engineering specs. We show how that we followed all the setbacks and with the codes for residential homes in 2020. We even marked the acre points that we would use to put down the panels on the roof. Going into the next part. This is where we show that we're going to be doing iron ridge racking on top of the roof. We show the specs of the roof of all the 2x8 ridge beam that is on there. We show the plywood, the tie frames into the woods, and then the collar ties. And then we'll show how the panels are mounted on top of the roof up there on top. And then, so right here, we also have the how it's going to go into the roof and stay lagged in, where we have steel, stainless steel lags that are going to go in for 4 inches and 5/16. And then that'll fasten the L brackets that will keep the panels on there. Next part just shows the specs of the solar panels that we're using, which are the Q cells. The 345 where the arrow shows is what we're going to be using mainly. And then we are using N-phase micro inverters. We're going to use the IQ7 plus inverters, again, right here with the arrow. The next page just shows all the cautionary stickers that we are going to put on all the necessary parts of the system that should have them, like the disconnect, all the conduit that we'll be using on the inverter, and anything else that should require a sticker. Next part just shows the 3-line diagram of how the whole system will be set up. We'll go from how the panels will be hooked up to the micro inverters that will go into a solar deck, and then we'll go into a combiner panel, and then that goes into another N-phase unit, just so that will help us monitoring the system. In case anything does happen, we can see what happens. And then all that goes into a disconnect unit, which is rated at 60 amps. And that goes to another solar meter, just so we can see what's going on with the production. And all that goes into another like sub panel that, well, that's inside here in their main distribution panel. And then that goes into their main meter, utility meter. So from there, we have some pictures of the house. This shows the front of the house, just how it would look before we do anything. This is the back of the house. This just shows the left side of the house if you were looking at it from the street, but this is from the back side. And then that's the right side of the house. And tell me if I'm going too fast, by the way, sorry. And this is the house that's to the left of the house that we'll be installing on. You can see that there are trees right there that kind of make it so they can't really see into the neighbor's yard or anything like that. This is the back side of that house, so you can still see that there's pretty much decent coverage, so they're not going to be seeing the other neighbors too much. And this is the other side of the house, which is just a street corner. There is no other house there. And this is the back of their house, which is actually just another house that's kind of on that street that's going parallel to them, or perpendicular to them, sorry. And then this is another house that's on that street that's just one more house up after that other house we took the pictures front and back of. And this is the neighbor that's directly across the street that we're going to install on. So obviously they got the trees in front there, so they won't see too much. And since the panels are going to be in the back of the house, you can't even see them anyways from the street. And front of the house again. And then the neighbor front of the house. So then that's the house that we're installing on is back here, and then that's the neighbor. And just another view from the corner. That's the house we're installing on, and then that was the neighbor that I was talking about that's right behind them. Here's just a little aerial view so you can kind of see what we're going to be doing, and then the neighbors all around. And then here we have the rendering of how the panels would look like on the back of the house. So we got the two separate arrays. And last but not least, we just have the different photos that we submitted to you guys in our engineerings that just shows that we're doing it on the back side of the house. So you really can't see anything from the street at all. Okay, so there you go.
All right, we'll open it up to board comment and questions.
Is the large tree just behind the house on the front view, the one that will be coming down? That one?
This one, I don't actually know in particular if that one is coming down or not. From what I was told, it wasn't coming down, and that is going to be staying there.
So you don't know which two trees will be coming down, or you do?
Okay, so yeah. Since they did submit the two removal, sorry, one of my coworkers was getting back to me on that. So yes, the big tree in the back right there, that one is one of the ones that are coming down.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. I heard you guys
hate to
do the
see
comment
trees
before.
removed.
Yeah, as I say, the only reason why we necessarily have to do that is just because of how the house is. This picture right here shows exactly the north is this way and then south is this way. So really how he explained with the sun going over, setting, rising in the east, setting in the west, that would literally just block out the entire panel.
I totally understand why it would have to go.
Do you know if the owner is planning, well, I'm not sure where we stand right now with the tree, the new tree law,
Right.
but that's a pretty big tree. So are they planning replacement trees in the front of their property?
I don't know, because this is the back side of their property. So I don't know if they're planning on doing anything on the front side, since we're doing it more on the back side then.
Will, can you advise where we are with that law and whether it's been passed? Do we have to pay attention to it, et cetera? Or is it just opinion at this point?
Well, the tree law has not been passed as of yet. It's in front of the tree committee. Is still accepting, my understanding is still accepting comments. And still working through revisions and so forth. At this point, from your board's perspective, it's really an aesthetic question. And the question comes down to, whether or not the trees offer a certain aesthetic quality that's better or worse than the solar panels. And that's really a question, you know, I can't really give you an opinion one way or the other.
Mhm.
And it said 2 trees. What's the second tree that's coming down?
I'm trying to figure out which picture would have the best. Sorry, it's hard to figure out which one has the best picture to show two of the trees. Okay, so
That is a huge tree.
yeah, so it's like there's kind of like 2 trees kind of paired into one right there. So
Oh.
that's why it's 2 of them. It's kind of hard to show you with these pictures that we have.
So I'm actually of the opinion where I'm okay with this tree coming down, mostly because I think it's so big that it presents a little bit of a danger to
Safety.
the actual house. If my bedrooms were on the back or my kids' bedrooms were on the back of that house, I'd probably be a bit nervous with that tree with the storms we've been having.
Mhm.
So that's sort of where I stand on that particular tree. Some of the smaller ones I'd actually be more concerned with, but if it's a pairing of those 2 big ones, for me, the justification here meets sort of the needs of the solar.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Just those 2 big ones that are kind of posing a threat, exactly how you said. They wanted to remove them anyway, so that's really why they were like, okay, well, if you guys remove them, then going with you is a no-brainer.
I guess I would strongly recommend that they plant a new tree in the front of their property that
Okay.
obviously does not have to be a 70-foot maple or elm, but
Gotcha.
provides additional arborization. And I mean, that amount of panels over the lifetime of the panels and the lifetime of the tree provides much more carbon neutrality than the tree does. But I think it would be great if we could just recommend that they plant another tree in the front of their house. But I know that's not
Agreed.
really your option.
Agreed.
And the good thing is that they are located in the back,
Yeah.
and they are also, I mean, pleasantly located. I mean, they form, it's a good shape. I mean, I think it's a good location, definitely. So I don't have any problem there.
Agreed.
Any other comments from the board before we ask for public comment?
No.
No.
Any comments from neighbors or other folks in the public regarding 1541?
Madam Chair, I don't see anyone.
Awesome. All right. Anyone want a motion on this one?
I motion.
Andrew?
I'll second. You're being
right.
so gracious.
And so it has been approved.
Thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
I would, I'll wait for Mr. Kessel to leave or Cassell to leave.
Okay.
I would suggest that in the future, if tree law or no tree law, that if the property owner wants to take down trees, that they also present to the board at the same time.
What do you mean that they talk about? This was a nice submission because it actually,
What?
all of a sudden I lost all of you, but I guess I'm still here.
Yeah, we see you.
We're here.
Will, I'm
Wow.
just going to ask for your guidance here. Should we table this till the end of the meeting when we have discussion time amongst just the board?
I thought we were done. I may be right. There's one more
Right.
presentation. Sorry about that.
All good. I
apologize.
definitely want to discuss them on the same page as you.
I apologize.
Yeah.
All good. All right. Hopefully we have 2 more. We have one to
Right.
review and approve or decline, and then one just to discuss in concept. So 804 Easton Easton Boston Post Road, you are up next. If you could prep to share your screen and walk us through your application, please. All right, Michael, I believe you are for Boston Post Road. You can take over and share your screen and lead us through.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Okay, good. I will take over. I'm
Try it now.
Sorry?
Try it now.
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So just saying, I mean, my name is Michael, and I'm representing 804 East Boston Post Road. Ron Bear is my client, and I want to show you oh no, I have to share first, right? Share, there, share screen. Oh, what is this now? Where are my documents? I was prepared. I had them all open, but I can't see them right now. So,
Maybe hit the share screen button again because it's not shared.
yeah, I have an issue right now because I can't see those. I have a window open that is giving me the options to share, but it's only partial of what I opened. Let's see what you.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's open.
There you go.
So
There you go.
this is the building 804 from Boston Post Road. My client's location is actually the pretty much half of the back part of the building.
Yep.
Let me see another view. This is the view actually from my client's window and entrance to Carroll Avenue, which is running here. Boston Post Road is over here. This is the building now, looking from that parking that I just showed to the entrance area. This is my client. This is another business which is facing Post Road. My client has no building frontage at Boston Post Road. And that's maybe something I should have shown at the beginning. As I said, this is the building. This portion is my client. This part, the front part of the building is a different tenant. So the windows that I just showed you are facing Carroll Avenue, as well as the sign that is marked in here. And if I go back, you can see this is the sign that we are proposing. And I go into some more detail with the sign right now, which is this. So there is an existing structure up here, which is a bracket that held the previous sign. My client moved into this location sometime last year and had not put up a sign for quite some time. Up here is, as I said, a bracket to hold a sign panel that is there. The old sign obviously was taken down. We are proposing exactly the same size sign, which is a 12-foot aluminum panel, 12 foot long, 2 feet high, which is holding the name of the business and the key services offered by my client. As you can see, let me go in maybe a little closer, very slow. Okay. As you can see, there are 3 existing floodlights that were there before, again, not installed by my client. The other tenant in the building has pretty much the same backup, not backup, the same setup. These light fixtures are functional and on a timer. So as you said, we are right now only installing a 12-foot aluminum panel on an existing bracket structure to hold the sign as shown. The drawing is to scale. The bracket behind it is only about 130 inches. So you will not see that bracket in any ways sticking out to the left or the right.
All right, let's open it up to board comments and questions.
So this is just a existing bracket, and you
These are
just replace the whole, I mean, the sign itself. It's just, that's what is new. You have
That is
the
co-
exist, yeah,
That is
Go ahead.
absolutely correct. Yes.
okay.
If
Right, so,
if you want to, I can show you a picture that I have as well. Pictures that I took before we obviously prepared the rendering that is showing the current situation.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yes, if you have it available, sure.
it's just a few clicks away.
Okay.
My computer becomes very slow when I open
So many windows.
Zoom.
Mhm.
So this is actually the picture that we used in order to superimpose the sign. So you see that bracket is there and was used before for a very similar sign.
It didn't change.
No, we did not do anything. We inspected it. It is in
No.
good.
What I mean is that the picture that we don't see any new image.
Oh, maybe just wait a little bit because
Yeah.
it says you are screen sharing, so it should come up
Okay.
because I can see it already. It's
Oh, that's
right
interesting.
here.
Are you, so this new panel, this is pretty much just flush to the building, right? It's not projected out much from the building.
I mean,
So but go ahead, you can answer. I'm looking at Google Maps. I'm curious to see what you're going to say.
Can you see the picture that I opened a while ago?
No,
No.
Let me try to show you guys. Hold on, let me.
Mm.
I'll look at my own computer.
That's very strange. I mean, you want me to stop share and maybe just do it again?
Maybe close a few panels,
try it
close a
again.
few windows.
So can you guys see my phone?
Yeah.
So that's the
Mhm.
bracket. It looks like it sticks out from the tan part of the building, but it's seemingly almost flush with the edge of the awning.
Yeah.
Yes, there is an overhang. The green portion that you saw. Let me open it again.
yeah, there's a canopy, right? It's on the
So-
canopy.
Can you see the original picture that I showed before?
Yes.
Okay, so this green part is, call it an overhang, call it an awning, but that projects from the building, I would say about 36 inches. Okay, so that the bracket that I was talking about is built onto that green overhang, but the sign itself is about 12 inches or so back from the edge of this overhang. So nothing is projecting over this green canopy.
Mm-hmm.
And as
I
I said,
wonder what it
Yeah.
looks like from the side. Do you have any view from the side or no?
yes, I do. As I said, I hope I can make the pictures visible. Can you see something?
No.
Not yet.
It's very strange because it says I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, because I think the side is important because since you go, on Boston Post Road, you're basically going to see the side of it. So it would be nice
you-
to see it.
Yeah, no, you don't. I mean, let me see. I have another picture.
Now?
You don't really see it. It's too far back. It's too far back.
Mhm.
Let me see. This is a picture. Unfortunately, you can't see it, obviously.
Yvonne, I
Yes.
would say that the bracket is existing already, so you can see it already. This building is at the curve, so you kind of don't see it because you're never necessarily looking at it because you're taking the curve right. And when you're taking the curve towards Mamaroneck, you're not going to really see it either. So I would agree sort of what he said, in part because of the particular angle that this building happens to hit the avenue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can see it, but you don't because of where you're looking at the curve.
Right.
Yeah.
And a pedestrian on the street isn't really going to see it much either because
It's high up.
it's high up. It's kind of above. I mean, that's where we buy our wine, in that store that's in front. And so, and I used to buy beer in the building that's now
Right.
the HVAC place. So I mean, I know the building very well, and you wouldn't really see that sign unless you're in the parking lot looking forward at the sign.
And by the way, when you're in that parking lot, you're just trying for your life to get in or out safely, right? It's a tricky parking lot.
Truth.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing, I mean, I think the sign looks fine. I would just like to see a little TLC applied to the side of this building in general,
Yeah.
is the way I feel about it. I don't know if we're talking about a sign today, but
We are just talking about a sign.
sorry.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes.
I had a sign.
Well, you have a downspout right there in front of you, but I guess, yeah. That's
Let
it.
me ask
You had
if
to
there's any public comment as we're discussing this.
Madam Chair, there doesn't appear to be anyone who wishes to speak.
Amazing. Any other board thoughts on this or questions? Nope.
No.
All right. Can
Good
we
evening.
seek a motion on this if you're so inclined?
I'll make a motion. Yvonne.
Okay, second.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
And it is so approved. I love that I don't have to get in on this motioning stuff.
Right.
All right. So that's approved. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you for listening.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So the next piece of business is 308 Mamaroneck Avenue. To give you a little background, and Will, correct me if I'm speaking incorrectly, but these guys handed in the application late. I would be inclined to review and either approve or decline it. However, they didn't have the posted sign, which for me is a pretty significant piece of the process missed. I think it's pretty important for the public to be able to chime in. Despite that rarely happening on a sign, I still think we have to allow it. So they asked for us to do a conceptual review, which we agreed to do, and then ultimately, hopefully, once the sign goes up and they come back to the board, assuming there's no public opposition, it'll be a quick review at the next meeting.
Fair enough. The only correction is that the applicant has an application for the same location in front of the zoning board, and the zoning board has not made a decision as of yet. And therefore, that's the reason why they wanted to come for a concept.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Sorry about that.
So
All right.
as I understand, so just so I understand, like they're trying to get us to say, do we think it needs to go back for revision? So when they come back the next time, we're not telling them to go back for revision.
Right. Or if there's more information that you need, this is the time to express
Got
that
it.
you need
Okay.
further information, clarity, that kind of thing. And then, like you said, at the next meeting, they'd be prepared to show you whatever you needed to see.
Okay.
All right, so we will turn it over to the applicant for 308 Mamaroneck Avenue. Kevin, oh, no, not Kevin. Hi.
Right.
I missed your name. What is it?
Oh, you're
We can't
muted.
hear you.
Unmute yourself.
Where is he that he's walking around?
For the applicant of 308, it looks like you're frozen. I'm not sure if you can hear us, but we can't hear nor see you anymore.
Yeah, he got frozen.
It's like maybe he walked away from his Wi-Fi.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
I don't know why he was walking.
Amber, will we able to connect with him at all offline to see what?
I'm trying. Yeah.
Oh,
trying
here
to
he
get him
comes
now.
back.
He's trying again. Yeah.
Kevin, we can see you now, but you're still on mute.
Yes. Unmute.
All good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All yours.
Okay.
Okay, I was thinking of my kids and my friends' kids downstairs. Okay, I met you before, like I think 3 years ago. I think Amber is new. I helped him on the sign for Roaster Cafe.
Mm.
And you gave me the approval on the first meeting, but I think he missed the putting the poster on the window for this sign.
Right.
He's supposed to put the sign 10 days before. I told him, but you know, Mike is a little bit unprepared. I gave him the applications. Do you want to see on the screen?
Yes, please.
Yep. If you want to walk us through your application as you see it, and then we'll watch and provide thoughts.
Sure. Okay, how I share the screen? Okay, right here, share the screen. Okay, right here. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I went that place. It was a bar before, but that building doesn't have a visible view for a sign. And when I when I walk through the block, everybody has their retractables. And as you see, the next door, I think that's a gelato store or pizzeria. They have a retractable, and their name is on the retractable awning. It's a basic retractable awning. It's a standard that what we do is we buy that industrial retractable, and we put the fabric on it. We do the fabrication. And we add a small sign, which is the channel ladder. On the block, there is a lot of channel ladder signs. He asked me to put a vertical instead of horizontal to show it a little bit bigger. We have two options. I need your recommendation on that. We can make a box, and we put those channel ladders on the box, and that box goes on the wall. Or we can do the individual channel ladders installed on the wall, but they will need a lot of holes on the wall. That's all about it.
Barbara, I'm wondering if we can lean on your knowledge here. I don't remember the exact rules and regulations as it pertains to the awning. Can you remind us?
In what aspect?
What's allowed? Like, does this meet
Name
code?
and nature. Name and nature, if that's what you're asking me.
Okay, and same height requirements of the 18?
The letter size?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
The sign, the 18 inch is what, on the retractable?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be only 8 inch instead of 18.
8,
Okay.
yes.
18 is pretty big. It is 1.5 foot. It's
Yep.
very big.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna look ugly.
And then, Barbara, is it allowed on, like, is that considered 2 signs plus the sign between the awnings? Is that 3 signs?
You know, this is the first I'm seeing this. I don't have a sign application or the sign code with me since I'm at home. I don't want to make a decision right now, quite honestly.
Totally understand.
So is Barkila written on both window fronts on the awning, on the retractable? Is it repeating
Yes.
itself?
Yes. That
Right.
presents that those both windows belongs to that bar.
Right, that's true. I don't know if you are allowed to have it twice.
I believe the
think-
assistant building inspector did look at this. He didn't have an issue with it, I'm guessing.
When I look, when I walk by the block, you know, it's around the corner to the your building department, to the city hall, and all the stores has those retractable awnings, and they have the writing on it.
But do they have it 2 times? Like in theory, you have 2
I cannot
signs.
recall. I
Right.
cannot recall.
I don't think so.
Will, has this been seen by the building inspector? Are we looking at something that meets code?
Did you see it? Hold on. Yes, the building inspector, the building department signed off on it for it to proceed to the BAR. But I can have them look at it again if the board so desires, because again, this is a concept plan. So if you need more information, this is what you're asking for, more information.
Yep. So I think to clarify the question here, I'm seeing 3 signs, which
Right.
in normal sign rules wouldn't be allowed, but I don't know if there are exceptions because of the awnings. So I think clarification on whether this is 1 sign because there's only 1 against the wall and 2 on the awning, or if this counts as 3.
We can change the writing, the second one on the right side, to the bar and lounge. I think he's going to do also the lounge. Instead of Barkila, we can say Barkila bar and lounge.
I don't think it, depending on code, I don't know that would matter. It would just matter on how many street facing signs you are allowed to have on this type of scenario. So we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Let's move forward, assuming that this is all legal. How do people feel about it?
First question, that striped canopy, it's a canopy, it's an awning. What's the projection?
It is a retractable awning. It is 15 feet wide.
Yes.
There is an existing retractable right now. If you look at the picture on the left side, you'll see it is a now, and the second one on the right side is after. And they have the retractable, but I assume it is like 25, 30 years old, that I have never seen before. It's pretty old, and we were not able to replace the fabric on them, and we have to get the brand new one. That one works by the hand. We didn't want to put, we can put also with the electric, the motor one, which is more money. He requested the one with the handle. The one of them will have, the right side will have on the right, and the left side will have that mechanism on the left side. And there's a long stick, the metal stick, that you hook on the hole and you turn it. And it can open up to 10 feet.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Up to 10 feet, depending on, maybe if you are going to let them, you know, it's a very wide boardwalk, maybe he's going to put some tables and the chairs over there that's going to cover the sunlights. Also, if there's a light rain, he will be using it, but he has to close it when on the windy days and also the snowy days.
Yeah, another comment I have is I'm not sure how to feel. Well, I know how I feel about it, but the stripes against the letters, the letters seem to be in different situations. One
Right.
has a black background, another one part a little bit of black and white. I mean, doesn't it look confusing and kind of a little bit chaotic to me? And I think the stripes themselves are nice. The letters are nice. The colors are good. I think it's just a matter of proportion and spacing and make them work a little bit more tied together.
What I
I would
can
echo
do
that.
is, what I can do is I can use the stripe on the top, but on the skirt part, we can use the black, and top of the black, the gold lettering.
It's probably better. I think the stripe with the letters is. I think they they don't work together. So there's like a little bit of a
Making
conflict,
your
right?
eyes tired, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, not clean. It's not a very clean
Yeah.
solution. So
I agree with you, Yvonne. That was my first thought, is that I would like to see the letters placed on the black part of the awning, the black part of the stripe, if you will.
Okay.
right.
It doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason for where they are placed.
Okay. But the top part is the stripes are okay, or also you want the one that it rolls in also in black?
No, I
What
think
do you
could-
call the top part, Kevin? What trying to? What do you call
The
the
top part, when you open it, when you open up,
I see. Oh,
Oh, I see.
well,
Right.
I see. The whole, you're saying the whole body of the awning could be striped, but just the front could be black.
exactly.
Okay.
It gives some like different look, different view.
Yeah,
It gives
I
a little
think
bit life on the store.
yeah, I think it's fairly okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know
think-
anybody else. What do you think?
I think that's fine. I mean, I just think honestly, from like a business standpoint, first of all, I think it looks kind of cool, but the letters are not very big. And even when I just sit back from it, I can barely read it. So
Yeah,
I would think that since the letters aren't really that tall, that's making it very hard to really identify the brand, you know?
Okay,
Yes.
we'll do a solid background.
The front or
The front.
front? Yes, I think it's okay. Keep the stripe.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Like you
Yeah, yeah.
say, it gives it a little bit more life. The white helps you.
Mhm.
Thank you
More
so much.
lively.
It was my comment to him, but he asked the stripes. I think it's better. It's better there.
Mhm, mhm. Then the other question is the other sign that says Barquilla, Tapas, and is in between the two openings, right? Between the two,
Yes.
right? Okay. Okay.
I-
Now, do you think? Oh, okay. Yeah, the background is I can see is the brick. So you're actually or not? Am I correct? Are you going to do it like a square rectangle?
Rectangle, yeah, the rectangle, a box. But I
So it
have
has-
two options there. I can make the brick color background, or I can give the image of the brick. I can print the decal on that box and putting those channel letters top of it. Like it's gonna be, when you look at it, that sign will have no box behind it.
Okay. So the surface is going to be the brick, or is it going to be on brick, or I'm still confused.
Okay, we will have a box.
Yeah.
That box will have the channel letters.
Okay.
And we are going to bring that box with the channel letters and install them
Against the brick.
on the wall.
Okay. What color is that box going to be metal painted?
Brick color, wherever the brick color.
So you're going to match. So you're going to match the brick.
Yes. Yes.
I see. Okay, got it.
Well, I'm confused. I'm not confused about what it is. I'm just confused again about the whole concept of this sign that's vertical with a cup that's tips, like it just, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you're just trying to fit a sign in there that has information on it that you need, but it's just being flipped 90 degrees. It just doesn't, I don't know.
And you have to crane
Mhm.
your head, your neck to read it, basically, like we
Yeah,
are.
I don't understand the point of
Yeah.
that from the business standpoint. And I mean, that's not our choice, but it just seems strange to me to do it like that.
There is many the bars, restaurants, especially in these days, the Starbucks is making they are making the, instead of horizontal, they do the vertical look
Oh,
on the taller walls.
Yeah, but
and
what's
as you
interesting
say,
here is that it's not just vertical, it's like actually past, vertical, right? You know, and it,
In an angle, yeah.
right,
Is that
it
what you're saying?
slopes, it slopes.
But
Yes.
the angle is because of their logo. That if you
Mhm.
look at the glass is not angled. If you look at the tapas cocktail lounge, it's not angled, but the barcula is angled.
mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, okay, I mean,
I just.
Yeah,
well,
I would echo Andrew. That sign for me does not fly.
I mean,
I could not get behind the vertical sign.
I just,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, and is it necessary when we already have two signs right there?
It's 2 feet wide. That sign is 2 feet wide
2 feet wide and 6 feet high.
because it doesn't.
Oh,
One,
Can you zoom in on that photo that's on the top right? Is there any way you can expand that so we can just sort of see what that looks like between the two the glazing?
This one, this.
Yeah, can you zoom in even more and then just slide that to the middle there?
uh-huh. Getting closer. Yeah. Yeah, good.
There you go.
So you're kind of saying that you're going to try to make the background of that sign look like the brick. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
But it's actually
I-
going to stick out.
It will like 3 inch sticking out, right? The box thicknesses.
Mhm. Well,
Well, we still don't know if the two signs are going to
Be
work,
allowed.
right? We still
Right.
don't know. Okay, in case that, you know, it makes sense to have the name of the restaurant or bar and where the door is, where the entrance is, then the second one wouldn't be there, the other and the awning. I just wonder if this logo that you have vertically could be applied on the storefront itself. And
Storefront,
instead
when we
of
see the storefront, where on the top?
like on the windows, like you know, go to the three pane windows, not the one with the door, but like in the center. I'm just wondering. I mean, it occurred to me. Say
I
maybe.
think we need some light to get the attraction. It's gonna be bar. You know, the bar needs some lights.
Mhm.
And I don't have a space. He's requesting some channel ladders or the box, but I don't have a space to put somewhere else because the top of the windows, it's an arch shape,
Mhm.
and none of the store on that building has the sign on that you know,
On that shape.
shape. Yeah, they don't have any
Uh-huh.
right here.
well,
And this is too high.
yeah, that's too high.
Yeah.
Maybe I can take this one right there on the left side.
Make it horizontal.
right there,
Yeah, it's not gonna be,
or right here.
yeah, that's not gonna look like much.
I don't think
So
it
I'm
will be
gonna-
allowed.
I'm gonna limit the feedback to another 4 or 5 minutes just because we're not voting on this and we gotta move on to discussions on other stuff within the board. So a couple of
Sure.
more minutes. Just to sum up what I'm hearing, Kevin, we got to sort of a place where we agree on the striped top, black front with the gold letters. Assuming all this is legal, it sounds like there's some a significant amount of pushback on the vertical layout of the barquilla. Did I pronounce that right?
Correct.
With my awful accent. So and I would say for me, I could not get behind a vote that included the vertical. It is a little bit of a tricky property, but I'm sure there are other solutions should another sign be allowed. So I would say, definitely be creative and brainstorm around what those could be.
Can I ask a quick question? Are you letting any stores neon signs from inside the store to outside?
I have not seen any. I don't know the code behind that. But in the couple of years that I've been here, I haven't seen any neon from within the.
Okay. Maybe instead of that logo shape, how about we do the individual clean readable, like a barquilla on the awning, on that wall?
The wall.
So like a vertical, like the BEQ,
Yes.
or sorry, BARQ, or
BARQ.
like a book spine. It wouldn't be a book spine.
Exactly. Upside, not the upside down, not turn, be on the top, the letters from top to bottom.
How do folks feel about that?
You mean in the same space where you have that logo now?
Around 6 to 7 feet.
Well, I think it has to be something that's different, really represents different than the horizontal to really have visual impact. But I guess we look at it.
Okay, how about that? I know he's close to the open during the construction. I don't know if we need to. Definitely, I think we need to wait one month. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll send you a couple of different options, after that conversation, and I think it's gonna make our life easier if we see on the screen.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Should we, Will, anything you want to chat about before we move to Andrew's comments from before?
I think everything I have kind of ties into what Andrew was kind of talking about, so please.
Will, we can't hear you very well, or I can't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, me either.
It's
There
garbled.
was some kind of a static.
Yes.
So this thing, it goes in and out.
Mm.
Can you hear me now? Still can't?
No, static.
In the
You
meantime,
sound like the Oz from The Wizard of Oz.
I don't know about that, but
in the meantime, go.
Well, you were asking about the tree and that they should mention to us ahead of time, I think, if they're taking them out, right? And
well, no. My point was that the presenters for the solar panels have, at least during my 6, 7 months now, 8 months on the board, have always been the installer, right? The vendor of the solar panel. But when it comes to making really like a change to the property like that, like taking down the tree, I don't see why the owner of the property doesn't come and talk about what's the impact on their property and what, particularly as we head towards probably a tree law, what
That's
they're
a
going
good
to do
point.
about their property.
Very good point.
And I see Athena nodding, so I think she has a like opinion about that.
Yes, they should be there.
In my time on the board, I have not seen one solar application where there is the applicant that comes. So I think Barbara probably knows more. My guess is the pitch is that you don't have to be involved at all.
Yeah,
And that's part of their pitch is like, we'll do it all for you.
right.
Well, what if, like Andrew was saying,
Uh-oh.
what happened now?
Who's this?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All right, cool. Okay.
Now we have an echo, but
yeah.
Hold on.
And you are gone. I mean, at least not the image.
Who has the floor?
Okay, can you hear me now? Am I clear?
Yes.
All right. Okay, fair enough. All right. So one thing, since you mentioned that, one thing that I was, as I showed you last time, I was putting together a table of the items that are required for various types of applications that may come before you. So one of the tables is actually for solar panels. With the requirements of the solar panels, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you is, do you want the owners of the property to come to the meetings for solar panel applications? That way they're there. You can ask them whatever questions you want to ask. You can ask them if they're comfortable with having the asymmetric solar panels. You can ask them if they, because again, like you said, a lot of times the solar panel companies are trying to sell the solar panels the way that they envision them. And if you have the property owner there, the property owner may be willing to move things from a symmetrical standpoint. They may want to keep trees. These are the type of things. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
So I think it gets a little tricky. I would say yes, but we don't require it for anything else, which often is a much bigger change. And so that's where it gets a little tricky. Like, do we have to consistently apply this request across the board? In which case, I think it would create a little bit of a dizzying effect at meetings and probably make us here until like midnight.
well, I think I assume what you mean, Athena, is that if an architect is presenting a renovation of a property, we don't require the homeowner.
Correct.
But we would assume that the architect is taking into account the entire facade and visual aspect of the property, right? I mean, that's what the marketing, right?
But
Correct.
very often the architects do have their clients accompanying them at these meetings, and often the sign people too. Not as often, but sometimes the sign owners come, the building renters.
I think with solar panels, because they are unique, I think you can handle them differently from the way you would handle other applications. And that's where you can have the applicant come in. And it would just be for solar panels where the requirement would be mandatory. So, okay. Andrew, you asked a question about whether or not the applicant was changing the roof as a part of the application, or if they did before. And the applicant said that they changed the roof. It was a brand new roof, essentially, is what he said.
Yeah.
Right.
With roof changes, again, you get into changing the material of a roof can change the character of the house.
Right.
Do you want roof changes to come to you, or are you comfortable leaving it as it is now? It's up to you.
No, I wasn't really, well, I certainly wasn't making a general statement. I was just wondering, because in this case, the visual footprint of the panels was
willy-nilly,
was obtrusive to Yvonne, and it was obtrusive to some people. And I thought, if they were planning on changing the roofing tiles, then now's the time to do it, right? To darken them, so that you don't have quite the dissonance between the light tiles and the panels.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, it wasn't a general statement.
Got it. Okay. What else? What else? What else? And how do you feel about right now? There's a distinction about what comes to the board is determined by the cost. So if someone's doing something that is doing a project that costs more than $10,000, it's required to come to the BAR. If someone's doing something that's less than $10,000 but has a visual impact, how do you want to handle those type of situations? Should they come to the board?
Can you give us
the
an
visual
example?
Wow, an example?
Painting, I guess, right? Painting the house.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Just had one now that I'm thinking about it. It was solar panels. Solar panels were being proposed. They were less than $10,000. The job is less than $10,000. Well, let's say the solar panels were being proposed in the front of the house. Should they come to the board?
Wow, that's a good one. Well, that probably should, because, again, and it is funny to me that neighbors don't come more often to hear what's happening or protest. But I don't know. I would be kind of upset if my across the street neighbor decided to put an array of solar panels on the front of their home. Does it really change anything? We almost always say, okay. Sometimes we have asked them to move them, Athena, and asked for a letter. It's true. But we almost always say, okay, right?
Fair enough. But even with that, I mean, if you still want, even with that, even if you say yes most of the time, because they come to you, you still have the discretion. And I guess the question is, do you want the discretion? That's the question. Because if not, then what happens is the discretion is left with the building department, and the building inspector then determines whether or not he makes the determination as to whether or not it has visual impact or significant visual impact. So this is really providing staff with guidance. All right.
Want to think about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think the other thing, you mentioned, Madam Chair, tonight, was that when solar panels come and you typically ask for an engineer's report. Is that the case?
So if they cannot go on the front because of a structural issue, or if they cannot go on the back because of a structural issue, or there's like what he was saying tonight, where ultimately we believed him that it would be more costly to have the other. In the past, we've asked for sort of an engineer's letter that says there is a structural issue, or this is the comparison of what you'd get from putting it here versus here. And for me, these guys are salesmen, so I don't believe them. And that for me is the sort of crux of the issue, is I want it sort of documented, because they're here to sell. And they could just be saying it, and I have no idea if it's true or not.
So do you want an independent engineer's report, or are you comfortable with the applicant's engineer providing you with a report?
I'm comfortable with that. Ultimately, I would hope that the engineer is ethical.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Talked about that. Anything else? The building inspector he asked a question about solar panels on a flat roof. If there's solar panels on a flat roof and they're not visible, should they come to the board?
I guess it's
in the back,
they're not visible
or front.
We just had one.
We did have
last
one.
meeting. Yeah, they're neighbors around here. I know, pretty close. I mean, if they're not visible at all, I'm not sure that we need to see it. I mean, there's no impact unless
if you
you're
can't
flying.
see it.
Right.
Okay. So no need. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. The only other thing that I was dealing with is one of the things that I was thinking about putting into your rules and procedures is the number of the sign posting requirement. So for the sign posting requirement, I don't really remember what it says right now in the code. I can't think off the top of my head what it says about. But how do you feel about having? So let's say you have a corner piece of property like the gentleman had today, and he was on the side. He actually posted his sign in the parking. It was facing the parking lot, as opposed to it being on the actual street and fronting the street. And as you can see, he was on a corner. So would you want to have one sign posted per frontage or just one sign per property? So let's say you had a piece of property and it was a through lot and a corner lot. That means the front's on 3 sides. Would you want 3 signs as opposed to, it's a question, I don't know.
I don't.
How you wanna handle it?
I don't. I think that's too much. I think one is okay. I mean, maybe if it is as a corner property, you would put that on the most busy, street where most of the people are. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I lean the other way. I want the signs, and I think a good example is the developers or the architects who flip houses, right? They put the sign in front of the house where it's least seen. When they go to sell the house, where does the sign go? It goes on the most busy piece of the property, right? So like the house at Rushmore and Sini, right? That sign went in front of the house, and where's the sale sign go? It's on Rushmore. So I don't think that tends to happen. And for me, it's quite possible that the people that live behind that particular house never saw the sign. If they don't walk, because they come out and they go left, they probably go left on Rushmore. If they don't walk, they probably didn't see it. And to be honest, even if they do walk, unless they walk down Sini, they probably never saw it.
You're talking about the modern house, the one with the roofs like that. Yeah.
So for me, the corner properties, I like the idea of the signs. The other thing I would ask is, I'm fairly sure that we don't get full adherence to that code. I would love to see included in the application a picture of the sign in front of the house. Although that doesn't, make sure that it was there for a certain amount of time, it definitely makes sure it was there, which to me is at least getting there. You're there 4/5 of the way.
Fair enough. So what staff requires is, or what I've sort of asked, is that when the applicant, they fill out an affidavit of sign posting indicating the date that the sign was posted, and they also at a minimum provide 2 pictures. One picture close up so we can see what the sign reads, and then a picture from across the street so you can see where the sign is actually on the lot. And if the sign is not visible, then typically I call and just tell them, listen, the purpose behind the sign is for it to be visible, needs to be moved.
Okay.
So that's what happens.
Well, I have another thought to add to that. We used to receive notices via mail when neighbors were doing work. Does that still happen?
Not for this board.
Barbara, what?
Yeah, she said not for the BAR, for the other board. So if it was the zoning board or the planning board.
Well, it used to be so, because I know that when my neighbors did work, and we would get a letter to say that it was happening, because to your point, Athena, you may not be walking in that direction, even though the neighbor is behind you. That may not be in your, path of travel.
I like that. It's very more effective. In fact, I got my neighbors across the street. I got a letter when they were doing a big renovation. And in fact, the neighbor stopped by the whole, and show us also. But I think that would be better to me. One sign to me would be enough. And I really love your idea, Cindy. If I don't know, that was something that was happening before, and it could be implemented again, or But
It used to
that, I mean, you can
happen.
assure that they get notification, that,
Right.
yeah.
Just so I understand, because having done my own projects too, that when we did letters, that was for a variance for our garage being.
Okay, for
Right?
a variance.
Right, that was for the zoning board,
Mhm.
replacing a garage in the exact same position as now. It was, but, right, it was because all those old garages were close to the property lines. But we didn't need to do it for the Board of Architectural Review. And how many people are, when you do the letters, of course, it's for like what? It's like 200 properties or 200 feet radius or something like that?
It's a
I
radius.
guess it's a lot of letters,
It's a
right?
radius. It's a lot of letters. And I'm just wondering for the Board of Architectural Review, are we concerned that someone on a block around the corner is going to have a problem with it? Or is it the people who are facing the property, or? I
No,
don't
around
know.
the block, probably behind.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It depends, of course, what it is that you're doing, I guess, but.
Right.
Mm.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what opinion I have about that.
No, I'm not saying that it should happen. I'm saying that I feel like I used to receive the letters
Yeah.
when it was happening, but now that you're saying it must have been for a variance. But then before you know it, they're in front of our board too for the work that they're doing. So I equated the two.
Barbara's right there. Barbara, the letters are for the zoning board, right?
Zoning board does it. I think planning does it. I think Harbor Coastal does it. Everybody except you guys.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And again, in my experience, most of the time, architectural review boards, board of BARs, however you want to call it, typically the signposting is enough, sufficient.
Okay.
But it's up to you how you want to handle it.
Okay.
Well, we'll go for
Yeah.
the sign posting. I guess we just have to decide if we want one or two. 3 is way too many.
But that would be in special occasions. But if somebody
Right.
had a corner lot and
Corner.
it was a through lot, yeah, you know.
I mean, I
Okay.
don't know. I think one is probably enough as long as they're putting it up.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. I think we only have one other thing, and that is your next meeting is November 3rd, which is election day.
No, no, no.
I'm not going to be able to.
No.
No,
We will
yeah.
be glued in front of the
I will-
TV and it will not,
Yes,
we will
You
not want
know,
to be doing this.
will not
It's
be
not election
attending.
day. It's election month. So don't
Yeah.
expect to have any answer on election night.
Okay, but still, do you want to be here on election night?
No, I don't, but I'm just saying.
Uh-huh. We hear you too.
No.
All right. So with that being the case, the next meeting
Where'd you go?
is
What?
the next meeting is November 19th.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And hopefully by the 19th, I should have. I'm hoping to have most of the information wrapped up and so forth, and to be able to give it to you for your comments, so that you'll be able to see
Right.
the application and everything else.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Fair enough.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a 3-year term, right? I mean, will Bill be staying on because he's the chairman, Barbara, and Athena?
I don't know if this is the end of his first term or his second term, so I'm not sure, because you're allowed to do 2 terms if the Board of Trustees re-elects you.
As chairman or as the entire board?
Entire.
As the board in general. Generally, the chair stays the chair until he or she leaves the board.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really
I
up to the
think-
Board of Trustees, and you never know what they're gonna do.
I just wanted to make sure we're all staying intact. That was the reason for my question.
Well, I think, I can't remember when my last term started. I think I'm technically on my second term because I fulfilled the first term of someone else.
Oh,
And so I don't know how that counts in the books, but I think technically I'm on a second term. But I don't know for sure. And I don't even know how far through it I am. It's all just a blur.
Like the flowers behind you.
No.
all right.
Actually, I guess I'm totally ignorant here. So Bill is done?
No, I
Oh,
don't think so.
okay. I mean, I hope he's okay, but okay,
No, is Bill okay? Is Bill on vacation?
No, he had back surgery yesterday.
oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, did he go for that? Whoa.
Well, listen, if
Andrew,
you don't mind, you want to cut the tape before you
Yeah,
go
let's
into
cut
all
the
of this?
tape.
okay.
All right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Madam Chair, you need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, we should edit that out because
Right.
is there anyone who can back that tape up and just edit out that last part, please?
I'll talk to IT about that tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. Because I
Okay.
know I actually, someone that brought that up with a comment about me in a previous meeting and was a little incensed. So
Oh no.
about my
Okay.
health,
Uh-huh.
So,
All right.
Okay. All right.
okay.
All right. Are
All
we,
right, everybody.
Okay, well, listen, take care. Enjoy the election.
The
Yes.
election
Okay.
The
season.
election
I'm going
month.
to be watching. Yes.
Go out and
Okay.
vote. Vote.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We're
vote
close.
often and vote early.
Yeah.
Yes. Starting next week, right?
Yeah.
So,
October 24th.
yes. Yes. Yes.
Vote
We'll
Okay.
be out.
twice. The president said you could.
All right, Athena.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Enjoy your evening.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, Amber.
Yes, nice.